Hello and welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And with the Super Bowl matchup set, we are going to do our other recap from championship weekend, the AFC Championship, the rematch between the Bengals and the Chiefs. It ain't Burrowhead, but it sure is
Burrowhead no
close.
more.
Burrowhead no longer. Tim, you ready to go?
Let's run it.
In what was a very anticlimactic conclusion, the Kansas City Chiefs was able to sneak out a 23-20 victory, not without a lot of trash talk, a bit of controversy, and some home cooking / ref ball, whatever you want to say. But Kansas City's going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a hard fought game from both sides. I mean, it was very fun to see all the competition. It come down to a wire, but tough way for that one to end. With the way that those final 2 minutes worked out, and the fact that a 15-yard penalty sets up a much more manageable field goal. I would love to see that game go to overtime and see the playoff overtime rules actually
Yeah,
get
that would
put
have
into
been
place.
really,
That would
really
have been really
fun.
cool.
No, that would have been awesome. But Joseph Osai, his hit on Mahomes out of bounds, it gave the Chiefs the 15 more yards. Oh boy, you just hate
It's
to
one of
see it
those.
happen
It's high. I mean,
for
obviously, it's
him.
hindsight 2020. It's
Of
a bang bang
course,
play. It's so
yeah.
tough to make that judgment. But I mean, awareness is so crucial.
I
And in a
mean,
position like that, he
yeah,
was already running out of
you
bounds.
gotta know.
You gotta. I mean, in my opinion, there was enough time to be able to see that he was, first of all, clearly already going out of bounds. There was no way he was attempting to stay in bounds any longer. And I mean,
Mhm.
and all of those defensive players know the rules against quarterbacks. They're good. Everything's going to go towards them, even more so than if there was a running back or receiver going out of bounds.
Yeah,
So it's one of those things you just got to know. But yeah, you feel terrible for the guy. I mean, he's 22 years old in the biggest moment of his career, and just, I mean, he had a great game leading up to that point too.
yeah, he was all over
But
the place. He
that
was making
that
tackles. He
one,
was doing all the things that you needed to do, but that's how he's going to be remembered. And
yeah,
I think in the more macro scale, that's not how you want this game to be remembered because
no,
what is going to be remembered from the 2022-2023 AFC Championship game is that it came down to Joseph Osai committing a penalty at the end and pushing the Chiefs into field goal range to close
except
them
that there
out.
was so much more that happened in that game that could have
Exactly.
changed the game drastically, and that's true of almost every game that ends up being close. You can't ever really blame it on one thing, except it's always what happens in that final moment.
See,
um
Tim, it's like that the playoff game a few years back between the Saints and the Rams. Nobody remembers how well Drew Brees played or Jared Goff played or even if they played
it's
well at
the
all.
phantom penalty.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
the no call on Nicole Roby Coleman that you remember. And these games should not be decided by penalties that late. I think you really
No,
just need to let them play. Although there really wasn't much you could do on Osai's part. Like you had to
no,
call it. You
yeah,
absolutely
is
had to
way too
call it.
blatant to not call it. Yeah.
And you know what it does? It discredits the performance of Mahomes and the Chiefs and Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Because although Joe Burrow and the Bengals didn't play great, they stayed through it. They stayed with it. There were plenty of opportunities for the Chiefs to blow them out, and they hung tough, and they darn near almost won the game. And on the other side, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, both playing through injuries, both of them showed up in a big way, and they earned their stripes, and they're going back to the Super Bowl, and they earned it. But it's that penalty that's going to be the silver lining.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look for on Kansas City side, what a performance in terms of a depleted team.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you still do have that home field advantage, but for Mahomes, I mean, you could tell on a lot of different plays there. I mean, that ankle was an issue, and he could definitely feel it and was aware of it at different times in terms of whether he's planting his foot nearly as hard or especially if he was trying to roll out to the left. There was somewhere he was rolling out to the left where after the play you could tell it was just hurting. But 326 yards and 2 touchdowns on a injury depleted receiving core. I mean,
Yes,
they had
and
guys out
that's
there at
what.
times that I didn't even
Mhm.
recognize.
Yeah, Juju
Um,
Smith-Schuster was hurt. Travis Kelce was playing through a back injury. I mean, their leading receiver, which Green Bay fans hate to see this. I mean, I'm happy for Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but he never
MVS
played that well for us.
he had
He
one hell
never
of a
played
game.
that well for us, and it sucks.
Oh,
Six
that
for
reach
eight,
out for the first down.
116, and a touchdown. Marquez Valdez-Scantling never played that well in Green Bay. But hey, I'm happy for him. He finally gets to go to a Super Bowl. I just wish it was with us. But that's neither here nor there. The fact that Patrick Mahomes was able to rally the troops with the depleted injury receiving core, like guys like Sky Moore had to step up. You guys had guys all over the
Marcus
place doing.
Kemp's.
Yeah.
Yeah, who?
Who? I
Exactly.
mean,
It's impressive. It's very impressive. I mean, we talked about throughout the whole season, losing Tyreek Hill and still being as good as they are. Well,
mhm.
now you lose like three of your other receivers, and they still, have all of these weapons.
Yeah. And I think we need to talk about the lesson in humility that the Cincinnati Bengals learned the hard way. They did way too much talking before the game,
Yeah.
calling
I get
Arrowhead
confidence.
Burrowhead. But to have the mayor of Top Rival film a video asking Patrick, like Joe Burrow, to take a paternity test to see if he is in fact Patrick Mahomes' father, that is a little too
It's
much.
just it's really bold. It's really bold for a game that that's going to be competitive anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's one way to light a fire under a team that already had good enough motivation in this game to prove themselves after Mahomes not beating Burrow yet up until that game, I mean, you give them more fire, and it's not wasn't the smartest move on their part.
No, no, it was not. I mean, Travis Kelce said it best. Not the other quote, but Burrow had my ass is that one sticks out too. Oh boy, the Chiefs, they earned it. They earned it. They fought through the trash talk and they're heading back to the Super Bowl. Their third Super Bowl appearance in 4 years. So you have to give credit where credit is due to Andy Reid and the Chiefs. On the other side, the Cincinnati Bengals, the good thing about that is they're young. Joe Burrow's still on his rookie deal. They still have a lot of skill players, a lot of talent at a lot of different pieces. So their Super Bowl window is still wide open. I think they're going to get back. I just think they need to learn the lesson of maybe win the game and then do your talking.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. And
I
like you
think that's a
said, I
very
mean,
good life lesson.
yes. Once again, I mean, in general, let the work do the talking. Now, granted, I mean, they had a lot of work to get to that point, and they had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
reason to be confident in their abilities. But once again, let's walk the walk first, and then you can talk afterwards. But you're right in terms of the talent they have on that team. I mean, I think Joe Burrow said it himself. He's like, our Super Bowl window is as long as I'm here. And as much as that is, a bit of a cocky compliment, I mean, he's realistically probably not wrong, especially if they're able to keep the weapons around him. That receiving core, when healthy, is great. Obviously, Tyler Boyd went down early in that game. So they've got a lot of good things going on for the team. Keep a lot of those defensive pieces around. Although, can we get Eli Apple off of Twitter? That probably would help as well.
Yes, it would. He
But yeah,
does way too much talking as well. But lots of lessons are learned on both sides in this AFC Championship game.
Absolutely.
And that will do it for our AFC Championship game recap. The Kansas City Chiefs will go on to play the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57. So we will be looking to predict that as it comes along, and we'll be looking to give you so much more content as the postseason rolls along. If you haven't watched our predictions and our recaps, go check those videos out. Tim, you have college basketball stuff that you're going to be breaking down to us.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be doing so much more. But like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, we out.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.